This is the Royals POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Kansas City Royals. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in. It is the Locked On Royals POSTCAST, here part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chance Liebau, here bringing you reaction to every single Royals game the rest of the way. We are now 3-9 since the POSTCAST era began, and hopefully at some point it gets a little bit better, but the Royals just wrapped up an 0-6 homestand with a loss to the second worst team in the American League. So do not ever say it can't get worse, because rock bottom will always fall out. If you want to shoot me a follow on Twitter at Chance Liebau, I would really appreciate it. It is right there. If you can't make a show live, don't worry. These episodes will be uploaded for you to listen to on demand wherever you get your podcast. Before we get started, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on our notifications so that you get an alert whenever we go live. Thanks so much for joining the show. Feel free to join the live chat. Let us know your thoughts on the game. At some point, we might even respond to your comments. And Tony chimes in, happy Father's Day to everybody. Happy Father's Day, everybody. I hope that nobody went to the game with their – nobody went. I hope the fathers are grateful for the time that they spent if they were taking to the Royals game today, because that was another abysmal edition of Royals baseball. And we'll get us started with our first segment. Here's what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Another quick poll for Noah Cameron. That was quite the decision by Matt Quatraro to go, and maybe in postgame, maybe in their press conference in the postgame, he'll come in and say he was hurt. His arm was tired, whatever. His shoulder was, he might have an excuse. He might have a reason for it. I'm not in that clubhouse, not in that dugout, but it felt very odd that they pulled Cameron when they did. They seem to love to let him go out there and give up home runs to the Yankees. They'd love to let him go out there and die when he's given up a 5 spot against the best team in the American League. But when he is absolutely shoving it against the second worst team in the American League, that's when you yank him at 83 pitches. I don't think it was the deciding factor in the game, but John Schreiber gives up a home run 2 batters later, and we're tied at 2 apiece. So another questionable decision by Matt Quatraro, one that I didn't love. But at this point, you're kind of grasping at straws right now, because the Royals offense had to score more than 2 runs in this game. The third inning, in which they got 2 runs, and it felt like vibes were back. Royals baseball was back to being fun again after yesterday's players-only meeting, which I'm not a huge fan of players-only meetings. I think those are kind of not silly or stupid, kind of silly and stupid in the fact that, I don't know. I don't think that they're kind of I don't know. I'm trying to find the words for it. But it's kind of a fake rally, in my opinion. It's kind of we had a players only. Okay, well, what happened in the players only meeting? Hudler talked about it today on the broadcast. He was like, all right, talk is talk. Like, show me that something changed. And I don't know. Rex Hudler is usually the epitome of positivity, and he's kind of been dogging on these boys in blue here recently. And that says a lot about where the Royals are at as a organization and a team right now. But the decision to pull Noah Cameron up 2-0, I understand it a little bit, because you've got 2 days off, or you got a day off tomorrow, so you got a chance to get the bullpen rested. You want to make sure that everything's going well for the bullpen, but like, you want to make sure. You obviously didn't have to worry about them being gassed going into a game tomorrow. So I kind of understand that. But John Schreiber is, flip a coin with what you're going to get from John Schreiber at this point of the season. Didn't love the decision to pull Cameron, obviously, but they had to score more than 2 runs. I mean, they put together some quality, I don't even want to say quality ABs, but they put the bat on the ball. They put the ball in play. They put the ball in play hard. There were some hard outs. Cags had a hit today. But then again, it just wasn't enough. There wasn't like contagious hitting. Shane, one of my coworkers, and Jack and I, there's a fight at the bat rack. Everybody wants to get up there and swing. But right now it seems like nobody does, because they are just so lost up there at the plate right now. I have a feeling deep down in my heart that they aren't hitting as a team. It's very individualized. Everybody's got their own approach. Here's what I would like to do at the plate. Well, that's a little bit different than what the team needs you to do at the plate. I thought they had a much better approach to play today against a better pitcher. Springs is a better pitcher than Lopez, who threw yesterday, in my opinion. Long-term major leaguer. But then again, you've got to get more than 2. And then the A's also had a very rested bullpen because guess what? Lopez went 6 yesterday. So you got their best bullpen arms, and they just didn't scratch anything against the bullpen. I mean, you look at what the A's bullpen was able to do, or what the Royals offense wasn't able to do against the A's bullpen. After Springs gave up 2 earned runs over 6 innings, Royals got 2 base runners, and one of them was on a hit that was an error, really. I mean, it was a drop fly ball. Struck out 5 times, 1 base runner. That's not enough. I don't understand how that can be enough. And I don't think that this is a bad baseball team, but they are playing very bad baseball right now. I think the lineup needs a shuffle. I need it very quickly. Jonathan India needs to be in this lineup going forward. I understand he was hurt, but Lefevre and Hudler are talking upstairs, and these injuries, they're only supposed to hurt you when you dive. Yeah, it's only hurting you when you dive or slide. And Jonathan India could slide feet first if he has to. Like, him not being in the lineup the last 2 days was very noticeable. And I understand he didn't have, he didn't have a hit when he was at the plate today. I get that. But then again, it was just, he makes this offense go. There's another hole in the lineup when Jonathan India, who is one of the few, major league caliber players in this lineup, like a guy that you can rely on to have an OPS over 100 or an OPS plus over 100 in any given year. If he's not in the lineup, you're throwing out a Nick Lofton or a Drew Waters, or in this case, a Mark Canha. And I'm sorry, but that I hope to God that was the last time I see Mark Canha in a Royals uniform, because he is not a very good hitter anymore. I think they did what they had to do, and they got him his 10 years of major league service time, but it's time to cut him loose, man. He's not this lefty specialist BS. It's not, that's not what he does. He's not a good hitter. But the most egregious thing, and it didn't happen, but it was the one tweet I had about the game today. If Tyler Tolbert walks, Carlos Estevez is hitting against Mason Miller with the tying run on second base, because Drew Waters pinch hit for Mark Canha to start the inning. And they had no other players on their bench. Now, maybe Michael Lorenzen pinch hits for Carlos Estevez because he's actually a decent bat. But I don't think Quatrero understood, or maybe he did, and he just had no faith that they'd get 5 batters up against Mason Miller. But they had nobody on the bench. And when you when your DH moves into the field, like they ran for Freddie, and so Salvi had to go catch, and Salvi was the DH. So when Salvi goes in to catch, you lose the DH the rest of the game. Your pitchers have to hit. And the spot that the pitcher was due up in was right after Tyler Tolbert. So you could have potentially had the tying run on second base with a pitcher batting because you forgot that you had nobody else left on your bench. Or maybe that was your own strategy, that you wanted to, you just had no confidence that it was the most egregious mistake I have seen from a manager. And it didn't even I get it. It didn't come to pass. It wasn't actually, didn't affect the ball game, but it could have. You realize how laughingstock the Royals would have been if with what is it now? 5-game, it was a 6-game losing streak after they lost. So if with a 5-game losing streak and you're desperate to turn around an 0 for homestand, you have your pitcher batting with a tying run on second in 2025 when there's a universal DH because you pinch hit Drew Waters to start the inning. I just don't get it anymore, man. And maybe that was a I just don't know. But this is getting so frustrating to watch this offense day in and day out. I'm a big Royals baseball fan. There were days this season, even last season, where I'm like, dang, it's an off day. What am I going to do? I don't want to do something other than what the Royals are on tonight, or it's a day game. I can't watch the Royals tonight. Today, it was like a chore to watch the Royals game. It was, it just seems like it's pulling teeth every single game at the plate. And it's so annoying as a fan to watch because there's not many more changes that you can make anymore. I get it. People in the comments yesterday were bringing out pitchforks and torches because I said that MJ Melendez might get brought up. That's the next answer. Folks, that is the next answer. They don't have any other options in AAA. Go look at that roster in AAA. That's it. They are running out of excuses in Omaha. So I get it. Nobody likes MJ Melendez. I get it. He's hitting 085 this season. But who else do they have left that's on the 40-man? It is dire straits here in Kansas City, and it's June 15th. They get an off day tomorrow. I would expect a single move to be made tomorrow, whether that's Rich Hill coming up, because apparently today, I think today was his opt-out date, so I wouldn't be surprised if, like, tonight we get a notification or something where it's like Rich Hill has been promoted or added to the roster, Jonathan Bowling gets DFA'd or something. It wouldn't surprise me if Rich Hill is on the roster when they start their road trip next week and he gets a start, because obviously Reagan's heads to the injured list. It wouldn't surprise me, because I think that today was the last day for Rich Hill on his minor league deal before he could opt out and head to free agency. So I would expect a move of some kind gets made in the next day. Next 24 hours, I would expect a move to get made, whether that's a call-up, send-down, or a coaching change with Matt or Alex Zumwalt, because it's continuing to be an issue, and I don't think that the answer. I don't think we're getting any closer to an answer or to an above-average Royals offense anytime soon. So that's my opinion. That's what you'll be talking about tomorrow. When we come back, we'll talk about the tough road the Royals have ahead as they start a weeks-long road trip on Tuesday. We'll tell you about that when we come back on the Locked On Royals postcast. Let's be real. Coffee, it isn't just a drink. It's a ritual, a lifeline, the thing that gets you from half asleep to fully functioning. And if it's that essential, why settle for anything less than amazing? That's where Trade Coffee comes in. Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S., delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're a cold brew fan or a pour-over purist, they've got a roast you'll love. And if the first match isn't perfect, Trade will replace it for free until they get it just right. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering our customers 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. That's TRADE.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your 1-month trial. The next sponsor of today's video is FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. With the way Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers are playing, taking them in the fourth quarter to cover the spread or betting them live is so much fun and easy on FanDuel. New to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. And if it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. The road ahead for the Royals begins in Arlington. They take on the Rangers starting on Tuesday, and that is going to really kickstart a massive series here coming up for the Royals, or a massive couple of weeks coming up here for the Royals. They've got the Rangers this next week, they've got 3 with the Rangers, and then after that, they will head out to San Diego. And the Padres, in my opinion, are one of the better teams in the National League and a team that can really pitch it. I haven't seen I'm trying to pull up the pitching matchups this week for the Rangers and the Royals, and it doesn't look like it's updated just yet. I'm sure Jack will have a tweet coming out. But for the Royals, they are getting 2 teams that can really pitch it. And that is something that this offense does not need. And not only that, but the Rangers ballpark is very big. The Padres park is very big. So it's not like they're playing at Coors where it's going to be easy. It's going to be easy offense for them. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Royals are able to do this week as they take on the Rangers and they take on the Padres. Looking at the pitching matchups, Fangraphs has it as Chris Bubich against Jack Leiter, Seth Lugo against Patrick Corbin, and then Michael Wacha against Jacob deGrom. So they avoid Tyler Mahle and Nathan Eovaldi, but this is a really good Rangers pitching staff. They get those three, and then they get Nick Pivetta, Dylan Cease, and Randy Vasquez, it looks like, in San Diego before they return home on Tuesday, the 24th, when they take on the Rays, who are also playing really, really good baseball right now. So this is not going to get any easier for the Royals. They are going to have to make some changes internally. Whether that's, I think it has to be a lineup change. I was encouraged by what I saw from Bobby Witt Jr. today. I got some pushback yesterday on Twitter when I said that moving him temporarily out of the 2-hole, maybe down to 3 or 4, would probably be better for him. That got some pushback, but I mean, I just think that something has to change. You can't just keep rolling the same first 5 in the order out like they have been. You cannot have Salvador Perez in the 5-hole if you want to be a competitive baseball team. That just can't happen. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how the Royals approach this road trip. If they continue to do the thing where they push back starters, if Rich Hill does make the roster next week, if that changes anything in terms of their approach this next week. But I continue to believe that this is a team that, like, the pitching staff is fine. I was encouraged with how Noah Cameron threw today. The bullpen is healthier now. Hunter Harvey is, I would expect, to be back soon. I think they, in a really, really mediocre American League, they're not that far out of a wild card spot. But it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. So I don't know. I don't know what the threshold would be for them to consider selling off some pieces like an Estevez or a Lugo or somebody that's on an expiring deal, because, folks, this team wants to compete in 2026. And if you think that they're going to trade Seth Lugo for an 18-year-old that hasn't even hit a ball yet, you're probably wrong. It's going to be more so the Dayton Moore trades where they get a guy that's either on the cusp of the majors or that has had a cup of coffee in the majors, because this team wants to compete in 2026. And I think this team can compete in 2025 and 26. So if they do make trades, it's going to be for guys that can help them in a potential September, August push this year, while also helping out next year's team. It'll be really interesting to see exactly what this roster looks like, honestly, when the team returns home, because we could have just seen Alex Zumwalt's career die this last week, because this was it was hilarious. I almost spit out my drink when Ryan Lefevre and Hudler were talking. I think it was in the 8th inning, and Ryan said the 3 of the 4 runs they have in this series, and I had to do a double take. 3 of the 4 runs they have in this series, the Yankees had 4 runs in multiple innings against this Royals team. And the Royals managed just 4 runs in the entire series against the A's. A bad pitching staff, and I don't think that this is – I don't know if this is sustainable, if this terrible offense is sustainable. But, I mean, changes are going to get made at some point, and I'm curious to see what those changes are, because it's getting to be very frustrating. And I'm sure if we're frustrated, I'm sure the players and the coaches in the front office is just as frustrated. So – Royals will be back in action. We'll be back to give you live reaction on Tuesday night when the Royals take on the Texas Rangers. Should be an interesting series. Royals traditionally do not do well out on the West Coast, but maybe that changes. We haven't seen – I mean, things are weird right now in Kansas City, so maybe that will change, but I'm not holding my breath here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in live. If you are new to the channel, or if you're listening to this after the fact, go over to the YouTube page, hit subscribe, like the video, and then turn on the bell notification so that you get notified whenever we go live the rest of this season. For Chance Liebau, this has been your Locked On Royals postcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.